John chapter 20 introduction. I recorded this in the original in KL in the botanical garden, but I totally forgot to put the microphone on. So I only afterwards saw that the microphone wasn't. I mean, not was the microphone was off. It was I totally forgot to put it on, use it at all. But I thought, no, there was very quiet there, and the sound might be good enough, kind of. But yeah, afterwards, after I checked it and saw it, so it's totally it's useless. You can't use it. So therefore, I need to re-record this, and I'm doing it here in Insane, here back in Yangon. Right, it's a nice day out there. It's still the rainy season, so it's kind of pretty wet. And actually, I think as well, again, is kind of good because rain in general brings new life. And this chapter is about Jesus, his resurrection, right? This after when they went to the gravesite to see if he's there. Okay, so he starts off with Mary. According to the other Gospels, not Mary alone, right? Here in John, only Mary is mentioned. And so she went early in the morning to where Jesus was buried. She got there to the tomb, and she couldn't find anyone. So she went back to the disciples to go and tell them. And then we get this kind of interesting situation where Peter and John, they ran to the tomb, to the gravesite, to the tomb. And like John most likely was the younger of the two, and outrunning Peter. Now, I mean, sure, he's the beloved disciple. Maybe that the fact that he's the beloved disciple helped as well, and like he really wanted to get there more. And Peter was like the one who just denied him, kind of. So I want to kind of those airplane taking off there in the back. I don't think you can see it. I think it's by now most likely too far. Anyhow. And this plane is like really turning super, like basically going on my head. I guess because of the rain and the clouds, I don't really want to. They don't want to really go through much to them at the moment. Anyhow, back to the story. So it's a bit like Peter here, right? So like this airplane didn't want to like go like the normal circle. Normally, when I go up and then through there and then start turning, and this one, he basically like literally flew over my head here. And the airport is just over there, right? So yeah, this is kind of not abnormal. Like so, because of the clouds there, the airplane didn't really want to go straight through the clouds. Maybe try to get us turn, make the turn, and stay below them to make the less shaky taking off kind of idea. Maybe. So Peter here running, John outrunning him. So maybe, because he's the beloved disciple, younger. But as well at the same time, just imagine Peter, he denied Jesus. And like, I want to see, but I don't want to see. I want to see, but I don't want to. Running, and like, is it? What is he going to say now? Do I really want to see him? Kind of, I have to because I'm Peter, but yeah, anyhow. Right, so they got there. John waited for Peter first to go in. There's a reason, because Peter was the natural leader of the group. And so give the honor to the leader, understandably. After Peter went in, then John went in. They saw the linen, the cloths, and the headcloth rolled up separate, and but there's nobody, so they left. Then Mary stayed while they were inspecting the site. The two disciples, the policemen, were inspecting, taping everything up with a yellow tape there in America kind of idea, right? Black and yellow, whatever. And then after all of this, Mary again went in the angel, and he told her that he's not there. Then she turns around. There's someone she saw. She saw it's the gardener. She didn't recognize Jesus because most likely her eyes were full of tears. She was totally disorientated. She didn't expect him. I spoke about all these things in the teaching part. because now the teaching part's already done and I already actually edited, but it will only go online somewhere in February, this chapter and this as well, only then. But then, God willing, I'll be in South Africa. And we are back in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, where they sinned. And here now, she's meeting Jesus there in the garden. So she's a gardener, like Adam was in the beginning, supposed to. So there's those connections between Jesus and Adam in this case, right? But this Adam didn't die. He rose again from the dead in the garden. So then she asked him, what's the body? He told her that that is he, and that she needs to go back. She then was like so happy, she clung to him. He told her, don't cling to me. And then Mary, that is the former prostitute, sent back to the disciples to go and tell them. And this is kind of totally abnormal, because she was not just a woman, she was a prostitute, and a former prostitute. And now she's the one to go and tell the disciples. That is not how things work those days, right? And I mean, even I think these days, that's kind of not how things will work. Okay, so we're not now in Crime and Punishment. We're actually kind of with this, the former prostitute who helped the guy overcome, understanding with the help of the scripture, right? The New Testament, right there in Dostoevsky's book. And so then they were all there in the room, the door's locked, Jesus came in, stood upon them, spoke to them. Thomas wasn't there. When they told Thomas that Jesus appeared to them, it's like, no way, this guy is dead. I won't believe till I've seen. Right? The theme of the book of John. And so the next week Thomas was there, next Sunday, and then Jesus appeared again to them. And this time Jesus told him, come and touch my side, put your hand in, my feet, everything, my palms, everything. You can come and do this. And because this is what Thomas said he wants to do. And then Thomas like, no, I didn't. He just said, my Lord and my God. He didn't do it. He just immediately understand. I mean, that is a huge thing as well for Thomas to then admit to the fact that Jesus is not just the Lord, but he's God as well. And like I mentioned in the teaching part as well, you will hear this when you listen to the other videos. And still in a couple of days will be uploaded. I mean, a couple of days by the time you see this video, and this is a couple of months from now, God willing. And so Jesus didn't say no, rebuked him. How can you tell me I'm God? Because, I'm not God and you're wrong and you'll be crucified now. You'll be stoned to death because you're a blasphemer and you make me, for accepting it, a blasphemer. No. He didn't do that. So clearly, again, Jesus is God. Although earlier in the chapter he did mention, I'm going to your God and my God, but he was comparing like for like here, right? So God is their God. So he was like, okay, I'm going to myself kind of idea and your God. That would kind of not make sense. Okay, so in earlier when he spoke with Mary, your God and my God. So like comparing apples for apples kind of idea. So that doesn't mean that God is his God and he's not God himself, right? He was just their God. So he used the same terminology. Simple. And then right. So all of this, and then ultimately the book ends with the reason for it, or at least Jesus saying, those who see. Don't see but believe, because no one will be able to afterwards see and believe, because Jesus is going to leave. So I can't show to Jesus. We can't do a Thomas experiment here, because Jesus is gone. He's on the throne in heaven, in his kingdom now, not in the future dispensationalist. And so you won't be able to see him. So you're blessed if you believe by just. But again, belief is not like somebody tell climb over this here and walk from here to that house. I'm like, no way, I'm not going to do this, because I'll die. I'll fall over and I'll die. But if someone I really trust and who's not trying to kill me, tell me, there might be a bridge here, I can just maybe see it or something like that. That kind of idea. So as well, faith is built up ultimately upon the character of God, and you can trust God. Okay, and so John ends off with that this is written, the purpose, so you can believe ultimately in Jesus, right? These specific signs, the 7 of them, and everything he put together ultimately, I'm not saying out of a different time order, right? Chronological, I think he used the right chronological order. But he picked his stories in such a way so as ultimately through those signs prove what Jesus is saying all the time, that he came from the Father, the words are the Father's, and that you need to believe this. He could have written a lot more, but he did not. Like, I can speak a lot more here, go on for hours and hours and hours about the beauty of the book, but it's already, man, very, very long. Okay, so yeah, that is what this chapter is about. So enjoy the rain here in Insane, and yeah, it's still kind of nice.